What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, and we are back to formally start the proper Queen deep dive, which is to say I did a couple reactions to two holiday songs from Queen, or one winter song and another holiday song, and ultimately Michaela provided those, and she has also provided material from their regular discography, so to speak. So yes, we're going to start going through Queen in a more formal sense. Once again, a major thank you to Michaela, and we're going to begin with A Night at the Opera 1975, which Michaela described as sort of their breakthrough album. Now, as I mentioned, I think in the first reaction I did, which was A Winter's Tale, I know Queen a little bit. The most directly I know them is through that soundtrack they did for the Flash Gordon movie in the 80s. I saw that as a kid growing up multiple times. I really enjoyed it, and specifically I remember enjoying the music. Now, I didn't have a sense at the time. I was born in 1980, so I was a young kid when I was watching that. But I didn't really have a sense for who Queen was. Now, as I grew up, I would hear other songs by them. Another one, Bites the Dust, We Are the Champions, Bohemian Rhapsody. So I know some of their major hits that, broke through into the larger pop culture, but I don't know their discography in any meaningful sense, so this will be a very fun journey, and for the most part very fresh for me. And in that regard, I am curious about this album. Now, the reason I chose to start this album is Michaela had mentioned this tune, Death on Two Legs, is apparently related to the former manager of Freddie Mercury, if I have that right. So yes, I do wonder what scathing commentary, or at least critical commentary, we might hear here, and the type of person perhaps that this critique may be relevant to more generally. In any case, Luca's ready for it. Let's give it a listen. This is Queen, and the first song on their 1975 album A Night at the Opera, and it is Death on Two Legs.
Kiss my ass goodbye. Feel good, are you satisfied? Do you feel like suicide? Is your conscience alright? Does it plague you at night? Do you feel good? Feel good? big business tycoon, just a hot air balloon, so no one gives you a chance. You're just an overgrown schoolboy. Let me tell you right. Done with disease, you're the king of the sleaze. Your money where your mouth is, Mr. No. What's the fin on your back? Part of the deal. Shark, death on two legs, tearing me apart. Death on two legs, it never had a heart. Never did. You're all right from the start. Insane to be put inside. You're a sewer and in a cesspool of pride. To be made unemployed, make yourself null and void. If you feel good, I feel good.
Wow. So much to say. First of all, sonically, again, I know very little of their catalog, but, Bohemian Rhapsody would be a great example where there's a really rocking section in the back half. There's vocal work that's very, like, choir with, harmonies and different voices coming in succession. There's lighter parts with a bit of piano. There's some really creative and compelling transitions between the different parts. It feels like there's a bit of that here. Maybe not as long or elaborate. Indeed, I'd say that's like 4 minutes? Yeah, a little bit less than that. So Bohemian Rhapsody, I don't remember, but I'm gonna guess that's like 6-7 minutes long or something. I remember it being a very long tune. But again, there's some different flavors here. I mean, it starts and, it's very piano, almost like you're at the opera listening to someone playing piano. And I'm assuming that's Freddie. Like, I know I've seen, like, clips of him going back years where he's, like, at the piano or, like, photos just maybe. But yes, I'm guessing that's him on the piano. And so, again, it starts somewhat elegant, at the very least, kind of smooth and classical. And then it suddenly gets very dissonant and heavy and dark, and the guitar is very sharp, and I don't know if that's like harmonic playing, but there's like, it's a very charismatic and intense manner of playing. And then again, it gets like with the voices, which I remember Michaela saying that those kind of choral or chorus style vocals where there's different voices coming in, that is something that you find throughout their catalog. So that comes in, and again, it feels almost like a bit like a musical, and then it gets harder and heavier again, and then suddenly it's light and dancing again. So it's very dynamic. It just keeps cycling through some different moods and feelings. Now overall, I would say the mood is very scathing, as I perhaps expected, given just the little bit I heard about the song in advance. But yeah, I mean, saying the person's a big talker but a small fry, and they have narrow-minded cronies around them, and they're a leech, they're a parasite, they're, trying to suck all his money and they want more, and the way they sound like they're poisoning everything, and the attitude of Freddie, or the narrator, is that because of all this, because of their avarice and their self-importance and their egomaniacal ways, he can kiss Freddie's ass goodbye. Freddie's out of here. He doesn't want to deal with this anymore. And indeed, it's like he's already gone, and he's looking back and saying, this is why I left, because you are this way, and you're so selfish and egotistical, and you want to rule over everything, and yet you are breaking all the rules and being completely unethical, and yet you're the one out here preaching. So it's just a multifaceted critique. And again, as I was thinking in advance, it's the kind of critique that can surely apply to a lot of egomaniacal, hyper-controlling, greedy and self-serving individuals. So yeah, beyond what I understand to be the direct specific source of the lyrics, I think they could be, unfortunately, applied to a large number of folks, or at the very least, some folks in particular. And I've mentioned before, this is something, if anyone's new here, welcome. And again, if you are new here, this is just kind of the way that I've done audio reactions the last few years, which is a very DIY, like, it harkens to the way that I've listened to music going back to my youth. and I'm in my mid-40s now, in case that's unclear. But yeah, I put on a record, I put on a CD, I listen to it, and if people are with me, I talk about it. So that's what we do here. But yes, the idea of, as I've talked about before, music, lyrics being a dialogue, which is they may have a very specific origin and source for why the songwriter wrote what they did, but inevitably, when someone hears lyrics and a piece of music, it's filtered through the understandings, experiences, and attitudes of the listener, and it might touch on feelings or past experiences that that person had which exceed or go beyond or indeed were unknown to the songwriter's intentions. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, and there is, of course, a very understandable way in which that will happen. And so inevitably a song becomes a dialogue between writer and listener. So here again, I'm extrapolating it beyond Freddie's manager. In any case, I love the guitar work. Again, edgy, wicked at some points, but also, very like virtuosic. And the piano, which, as I said, I'm assuming is Freddie, it has some different moods in it. It's more forte at points and then lighter and a bit more dancing at a couple other moments. And as I said, I just love the chronology of the tune as it plays out. So I'm looking forward to going through more from Queen, not only on this album, but multiple albums beyond that. And I have many of them waiting in the wings. Thank you again to Michaela. Let me know what you think of the tune, and Luca and I will see you next time. Peace.